All right, Shane, well, you teased it there. Kentucky falls again for the second time this season, back-to-back weeks here. Well, not back-to-back. They're coming off a bye, but Mississippi State defends the home turf here, wins 31-17, and this was a game largely controlled by Mississippi State. Josh Ali, his first game back from injury for Kentucky, had the punt return. You take that off the board. Kentucky only scored 10 points on offense, and as simple as it is to say, I mean, this came down to turnovers. Shane, 4 turnovers for Kentucky, no turnovers for Mississippi State. And Will Levis threw 3 interceptions. And Will Rogers, my goodness, Shane, 36 of 39, 91% completion percentage here, 344 yards, a touchdown. And how about this? Mississippi State, 3 rushing touchdowns. I don't know if they've had that all season, Shane. So, I mean, as soon as we jumped on them Kentucky bandwagon, I guess we cursed them is probably what really happened here. But, man, this was one of the lesser-ranked SEC West teams playing one of the top-ranked SEC East teams, and Mississippi State comes away with a big, big win. And one more stat for you, Shane. Wins versus AP top 25 teams the last 2 years. Alabama leads the way with 8. Georgia second with 6. No surprise there. Third is Mississippi State, Mike Leach. They've got 3 of these bad boys. So, man, what a coaching job by Mike Leach and his staff there. Let's give Zach Arnett, the defensive coordinator. He did a hell of a job here making Will Levis try to beat him. And hell, he certainly couldn't do it on Saturday night, could he?
Mike, I mean, 36 of 39. Is that some sort of record? I mean, is there an efficiency record out there? Because I think Mr. Rogers just nailed it. And it is, you look at a stat line like that, and that wasn't what won this game. What won this game is, like you said, was the defense. I mean, it just felt like they had an answer for everything that Mark and them put out there, and it caught up. I don't want to say Mississippi State was the better team here, but you walk away with 4 turnovers, you're probably going to lose that game, Mike. And they lost it by 2 scores. So there was plenty of chances, even on the tail end of this thing, for Kentucky to get back in it. But again, they did exactly what we told you we didn't want, and that was rely on the arm of Will Levis. And it felt like when Kentucky has to rely on the quarterback, it feels like this isn't the same Kentucky team. When they can lean on that running game and ground and pound and hopefully not fumble the damn football, it feels like Kentucky can beat just about anybody. But once they get one-dimensional, it's just the problem is, Mike, outside of Robinson, they've got no other weapons out there.
Right, and it's kind of, something we hit on all week, Shane, that was concern to both of us. We didn't even listen to our own advice, but Kentucky's defense had not faced an opponent that was going to, pass over and over on them, and they failed that test miserably. Like you said, with I heard a stat. Of course, Will Rogers only 39 attempts. Had he gotten a 40, one more, he would have shattered the NCAA record for completions with 40 attempts. So, I mean, that just gives you an indication. I mean, they were basically using him as their short running game, dinking and dunking all over the field. Kentucky had no answers for it, and now they've got to turn right around and face a Tennessee Josh Heupel offense that it's not the air raid, it's not the exact same thing, but they're going to use a lot of the same stuff that they have on tape here. And let me ask you this, Shane, because, me particularly, I was driving the bus here on Kentucky's new offense and the offensive coordinator and the quarterback, Will Levis. But now that we got tape on them, I'm not saying they got exposed because, had they not, a lot of these interceptions were tips and things of that nature. But had they not had 4 turnovers, they probably win this game. But hell, we could say that about any game with there's multiple turnovers. So we got to give Mississippi State credit for forcing those. But any concern, Shane, that now that we've got, 8 games of tape on Kentucky, that their offense maybe has been figured out a little bit here. And once again, I mean, Chris Rodriguez, he may be one of the best running backs in the country, but he cannot hold on to the damn ball. He dropped about 2 or 3 in this game and lost one of them. Yeah. That is a real issue that at this point, I don't think is going to get solved by Kentucky after 2/3 of the season already being played.
Right, but you got to have them. Rodriguez's smoke is Kentucky football,
Right.
and if you can't get those boys going, then you're not going to win the game. It's just the proof's out there, like you said. There's no hiding what Kentucky is anymore. That we've got 8 games of tape here, and we know that if we can load up a box and we can make Will try to win this thing, he's only got 1 or 2 people he can throw it to.
Right.
So I think that's the problem here is, yes, they want to be different, but we've got to have somebody else step up. Some other playmaker has got to step up because you could see once the game's not decided by Rodriguez, then we don't know what the end result's going to be. But I can tell you right now, Mike, it's typically not pretty. So, yeah, I'm with you here. I think a little bit of exposure, I think that's a good word for it, because they've not had to do it, Going in, you look at the Florida game, they were able to keep it kind of low-key. This is the one game that they're really trying to get back into this thing. Mm-hmm. And it seems like when that happens, Kentucky they're just not ready there. They're just not there yet.
Right, and their loss, again, clinched the SEC East for Georgia. But, hey, maybe the best way for me to ask you that, we'll have plenty of time to break down the Kentucky-Tennessee game, but as a Tennessee homer, Shane, what would scare you more if Kentucky said, by God, we're going to run it 50 times, or if they said, we're going to have Will Levis try to beat you by throwing it 35, 40 times?
I think what scares me the most about this game, Mike, is it's a little deceiving. Like you said, if you watch some of these turnovers, some of them were just amazing defensive plays. Mm-hmm. Guys at the right place at the right time. And if you take 2 of those turnovers off the board, who knows what this result would have been. So I think the biggest concern for me is just thinking, oh, well, Mississippi State just kicked Kentucky's ass. We're going to go out there and do the same thing. Not so fast, my friend. This is still a good ball club. This is a team that just made a few mistakes last night. And I think that exposure is exactly what Will Levis needed. That's film that they know we have. That's film that they have, that they can make him a better quarterback and grow from. So that's my biggest concern. As a Tennessee fan, you can never count any quarterback out because the next week he's going to come up and they're going to have damn Dan Marino over there. So I'm not trying to get the cart in front of the horse. This is going to be a hell of a game. I am glad I got my bourbon bets in early, but Kentucky, like I said, just moments, just a couple of plays, couple of inches, man. I mean, that's what literally this game came down to, was a couple of inches, fingertips, and it turned into a victory for Mississippi State.
All right, final game.
I mean, because these are red zone turnovers, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't get any worse. So, All right, sorry.
Will Rogers finished tonight with a 92% completion percentage. What was your opinion on his performance?
I didn't realize it was 92% until we got back in the locker room, but I thought he played well. I thought he really did a good job seeing the field. I thought he did a good job checking and on the plays that that he was in a position to check. And then we had kind of a slow start, but I thought we picked it up, and I thought he did a good job elevating that. Also, our defense getting turnovers and stops, I thought was key.
How much do you feel those interceptions kind of helped with the momentum of the game?
I think it was huge. I think it was really huge. Kentucky's kind of a team that's about control, controlling on offense and hogging the clock and then controlling on defense. Nothing bad happens. You have to execute a lot of plays to move the ball against them, and that's that's why they're where they're at, is because they're so good at controlling things, and that broke the control suddenly, which was important to us because we're a younger, explosive team, but maintaining control is something that's has been tricky for us a little bit, and that let us get it back.
Steve talked about the Kentucky game last year. That was Will Rogers' first game. I mean, obviously you've seen him grow tremendously from that ball game. Just how much have you seen him grow from that point, the first game he's played in, to tonight, whenever he breaks the SEC record for completion percentage over 30-plus attempts?
Oh, he did, huh?
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. Try to get as many of those as we can.
I guess start with Will. With him, what was up tonight? It just seemed like he never was really on. Most of the game.
He was definitely not comfortable. I think they, do a nice job of mixing some things up. I thought he went back to pressing, rushing some things, forcing the issue right from early in the game. So, it's not just him. We didn't play very good anywhere.
Mark, did it surprise you the lack of physicalness by your defense? It seemed like the Mississippi State ran through a lot of tackles or just ran by your guys an awful lot tonight.
Yeah, it did. Very frustrating. And I just said that to the team that, that's very uncharacteristic, and that's not going to happen. We may lose, we may get beat, but I didn't like the intensity that we played with, the physicality that we played with. I felt like we were pushed around, and that's not a good feeling.
Mark, Chris Rodriguez with the fumbles, is he dealing with anything physically, or do you think it's just gotten into his head at this point?
He was dealing with something this week, but no excuses. I think with the fumble, there was a combination of things on that play. We got blown up at tackle, pressure in the backfield. The handoff looked a little high, but not very good.
Mark, as you said, it's been a while since you've had a game like this. How do you want this particular team to react to this coming week? Do you want them to be angry? Do you want them to put their heads down and just go back to work? How do you want it? What do you want to see this week?
Well, we have to address it. We just did. That's not a good feeling. And I don't want to have a football team like this. And I don't think these guys want to play that way. That's not who we're going to be. That's not going to be our identity. And, we'll get back to work and get it fixed and make sure we get the right guys out on the field that want to continue to play like we play.